Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really jumping into the whole world of Powerball, that lottery fever that grips everyone. Whether you're maybe a dreamer buying tickets every week, or perhaps you're just curious about how this whole lottery thing truly works, well, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to uncover some pretty surprising truths about lottery winners and maybe what their lives actually look like after hitting that massive jackpot.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Lottery is, well, it's just this fascinating space where, math, money, and just raw human dreams all kind of collide. It's pretty wild.
It absolutely is. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The big question, the one everyone's asking right now, did anyone actually, win last night? The winning Powerball numbers were, 12, 23, 45, 56, 67, and the Powerball itself was 18. And the huge news, nope, no one hit the big one. Which, here's where it gets really interesting for the next draw.
Right. That means the pot rolls over again. We're now looking at a truly staggering $1.4 billion jackpot for the next one. It just captures the imagination, doesn't it?
$1.4 billion, it's almost hard to even picture. But, okay, while no one grabbed the grand prize, people did win smaller amounts, right? It wasn't a total wash.
Oh, absolutely. Thousands of people did. You're talking everything from, $4, maybe $100, all the way up to some pretty substantial $50,000 wins. Just in Louisiana, for instance, more than 6,000 tickets scored some kind of prize last night. So yeah, while the headlines always chase that life-changing number, there are loads of smaller wins happening constantly.
That's a good point. And sometimes those other lotteries, like the Louisiana Lotto, they kind of fly under the radar. I mean, winning $500,000 there, that's absolutely life-changing for most people. But Powerball just seems to suck all the air out of the room.
It really does. Powerball has definitely become the celebrity lottery. It feels like this big national event every time the jackpot gets huge.
Right.
But you hit on something important there. Those smaller state-level lotteries, they often give you a much, much better shot at winning something genuinely impactful. Maybe not billions, but still significant.
Okay, so let's dig into that a bit. Why do these jackpots get so just astronomically massive?
Yeah.
What's really fueling this whole craze?
Well, fundamentally, it's all about that rollover mechanism. It's pretty simple, actually. If nobody matches all the winning numbers, the prize money doesn't just disappear. It carries over to the next drawing. And week after week, if no one wins, it just snowballs. It grows and grows, compounding until, bam, you reach these billion-dollar figures that just sound unreal.
And you see it, right? Once it hits that kind of scale, ticket sales they explode. It feels almost psychological.
Yeah.
Like people who normally wouldn't even think about buying a ticket suddenly jump in. What's going on there?
Yeah, that's a great point. There's definitely a huge psychological shift. I mean, the actual odds of winning, they don't change one bit. They stay incredibly, incredibly slim. 1 in 292 million for the jackpot. But our perception changes. When that number hits $1 billion, it sort of flips the switch in our brains, doesn't it? It stops being purely about the cold, hard math, 1 in 292 million, and it becomes much more about the emotional pull. What if? Right. What would I do with all that money? It shifts from probability to possibility, however remote. It's like hope versus math, and sometimes hope just feels louder.
It's that classic $2 dream, isn't it? For just a moment, holding that ticket, you feel like you've actually got a real shot at billionaire status. Even if, your rational brain knows better.
Precisely. And that dream, that fantasy is incredibly potent. People immediately start imagining quitting their jobs, traveling the globe, paying off debts, achieving total freedom. It's the ultimate what-if ticket, boiled down to a couple of bucks.
Okay, let's geek out for a second. The mechanics. How are these numbers actually drawn? Is it like some super secure computer spitting out random numbers?
You might think so, but it's actually surprisingly old school. We're talking giant, transparent, tumbling machines, bouncing numbered balls. The whole thing is often televised live. It's not just a hidden computer algorithm. It's a very physical, very visible process designed for transparency, I suppose.
Right, okay. And those odds for the jackpot, let's just say it again because it's so wild.
Yeah, it bears repeating. For the Powerball jackpot, the odds are 1 in 292.2 million. To try and wrap your head around that. You're statistically more likely to be struck by lightning twice in your lifetime.
Or, eaten by a shark while being struck by lightning, probably. It's just, logically, it makes almost no sense. But emotionally, wow, it's somehow irresistible for so many.
It really is a paradox, isn't it? And hey, here's a little fun fact to throw in. while hitting the jackpot is, well, astronomical. The odds of winning anything at all, even just getting your $2 back plus a little extra, like winning $4, those odds are much better, about 1 in 24. So you're actually far more likely to win something than absolutely nothing, which, I guess, keeps people coming back too.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the human side of this, because behind all the numbers and the odds, there are real people, real stories, and sometimes they're stories of amazing success, and sometimes real tragedy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one story I always think of from Louisiana. The guy won $200,000, not billions, but still a lot of money. And instead of just, blowing it all, he very carefully invested it back into his small business. And today, that business is thriving and employs dozens of people in his local community. It's a great example of how it can be a force for good.
That's fantastic to hear. It shows what's possible.
Yeah.
But then, there's the other side, the sort of the dark side of hitting it big so suddenly.
There definitely is, and it's something people need to be aware of. The cautionary tales are, unfortunately, quite common. Take Jack Whitaker. Remember him? He won an enormous $315 million Powerball jackpot back in the early 2000s. But within just a few years, his life had completely spiraled. He was bankrupt, faced terrible personal tragedies, depression. His life just unraveled. It's heartbreaking, right?
God, that's just incredibly sobering, isn't it? It's like proof that sudden wealth, if you don't have a solid plan, the right support system, maybe the right mindset, it can genuinely become a curse rather than a blessing.
That sums it up perfectly. The lottery really highlights this crazy duality. It can absolutely be that rags to riches dream come true, but almost just as easily, it can become a riches to rags nightmare if you're not prepared for what comes next.
Okay, let's indulge for just a second, step into that fantasy land. Let's ask you, the listener, what would you do if, boom, $1 billion landed in your lap tomorrow? Me, I'm thinking. Maybe a vineyard in Italy sounds nice.
Yeah. Oh, the possibilities. They're endless, aren't they? I've heard people say all sorts of things, like, first call, pay off my mom's mortgage, done. Or maybe the opposite extreme. I'd disappear, change my number, new identity, ghost everyone forever, just vanish.
Or someone else might say, right, I'm finally starting that dream restaurant I've always talked about. And would absolutely have free food Fridays.
See, it tacks into so many specific dreams, and you hear about the wild stuff actual winners have bought, right? Like, wasn't there someone who bought a solid gold-plated toilet? Or someone else who wanted an island shaped like a dolphin? The impulses can be
Interesting.
Oh, and fun fact, in Japan, apparently some lotteries give out luxury goods, like a fancy car, instead of just cash. Different approach.
Wow, a gold toilet. Okay, imagination definitely runs wild. So, quick lightning round for you listening. First thing you'd buy, anything, maybe. Courtside seats for life for your favorite team.
Yeah, that's a good one. See? The dreams are instant.
So many possibilities tied up in that number.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. Because without really careful planning, without a solid strategy, even $1 billion, which sounds infinite, it could actually vanish surprisingly fast.
Oh, you are absolutely right about that. It sounds counterintuitive, but it happens. If you ever find yourself in that unbelievably lucky position, you need more than just luck going forward. You need a team. Like, immediately. Good lawyers who specialize in this, sharp accountants, financial advisors, and maybe most importantly, you need serious personal discipline. Without that whole package, the team, the plan, the mindset, you could very easily end up on that unfortunately long list of lottery regrets.
That's really crucial advice. Because the dream is powerful, we get that.
Yeah.
But now let's talk dangers.
Yeah.
Because the lottery isn't all sunshine and, giant checks. There are real pitfalls.
That's a really important point to cover, yeah. Lottery addiction is real. It's classified as a gambling disorder. You have people spending hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars they really can't afford, chasing these jackpots they almost certainly will never, ever win. It can ruin lives financially.
And then you've got the scams, right? Those emails, the phone calls. Congratulations, you've won the transnational lottery. And you just need to pay this small processing fee or tax first to release your winnings. Let's just be crystal clear. If you didn't buy a ticket for that specific lottery, you didn't win, period. Don't send money. It's always a scam.
Always. And another sort of darker truth that research often shows is that often the people who can least afford to play the lottery, those facing financial hardship, maybe lower income individuals, they sometimes end up spending a disproportionately larger percentage of their income on tickets. It's sometimes seen, sadly, as one of the only perceived ways out, however unlikely.
Yeah, that's tough to hear. So, okay, the dream is real. The potential upside is obviously huge. But the risks, the potential downsides, they are very real too. And you need to go in with your eyes open. Okay, let's maybe lighten the mood just a touch before we wrap up. Fun facts time. We sprinkled some in, but any others?
Well, we mentioned the gold toilet in the Dolphin Island. Let's see. Oh, sometimes winners do incredibly mundane things first. Like one winner's first purchase was just a really good mattress. Said they hadn't slept well in years.
Huh. I can relate to wanting a good mattress. Okay, so final lightning round for you listening again. Forget the first purchase. What's the craziest thing you'd consider buying if you won? No judgment? Maybe. I don't know, your own private roller coaster, courtside seats we mentioned. Lifetime supply is something amazing. So what does this all mean when you step back and look at it? I think maybe the takeaway is this. Well, that lottery ticket definitely buys you a powerful dream. That what-if moment. Yeah. True wealth, real success, it usually comes from, planning, making smart choices day to day, consistent effort, whether you win the lottery or not. It's not just about the numbers that get drawn on Saturday night. It's also about the choices we make every single day. We really hope you found some interesting, maybe even surprising insights in this deep dive into the world of Powerball and jackpot madness. Hopefully it gave you something to think about. Until next time, keep dreaming, absolutely. But maybe, just maybe, dream smart.